The first thing you may think about when you hear Ghostwriter attacks is the popular Nicolas Cage 2007 film. Super awesome. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're actually talking about Ghostwriter attacks with a T. So we've talked a lot about man-in-the-middle attacks here in this class, but a Ghostwriter attack, it's a specific instance of a man-in-the-middle attack, specifically referring to Amazon Web Services S3 buckets, which is a different type of cloud service, and then the Ghostwriter attack is just the attack on those specific buckets. So you probably heard a lot of words you don't understand, but we're gonna go ahead and explain all of these a little bit later on, but we just kind of wanted to intro what we're gonna talk about today, and if you guys stay tuned, you'll be able to understand a lot better.
A man-in-the-middle attack occurs when a person intends to communicate with another party. However, through the use of phishing, social engineering, or another method, a third party secretly places themselves in the middle of the communication, allowing them to view, change, or even delete the information being passed. By the time the original parties realize what has been done, it is often too late to reverse the effect of the attack. Companies storing data on the cloud, specifically in Amazon Web Services, are at risk for a kind of man-in-the-middle attack known as a Ghostwriter attack. In AWS, company data is stored in Simple Storage Service or S3 buckets. This can be an efficient and secure way to store data. However, man-in-the-middle attackers scour AWS looking for misconfigured buckets to exploit. If a company's bucket is configured correctly and is monitored properly, attackers cannot access company data. If an S3 bucket is misconfigured, company data is vulnerable to a Ghostwriter attack. When an attacker finds a misconfigured bucket, they can view, change, and delete company data. Companies that have experienced significant data breaches due to Ghostwriter attacks include Verizon and the U.S. Department of Defense.
So now that you guys have a little bit better of an understanding of what a Ghostwriter attack is and how these attacks can penetrate your company and put vulnerabilities into your company, we're going to take the next couple of minutes to go over a few basic steps on how to secure your Amazon AWS S3 buckets so you guys can #protect the bucket.
The first part of making sure that your AWS S3 buckets are secure is to configure the bucket properly. The first step in this process is to make sure that you pick your plan and then master it. There are currently 5 different ways to create an AWS S3 bucket. These are S3 bucket policies, IAM policies, access control lists, query string authentication, and API access. Because there's so many different ways, it can be confusing. It's important to pick one and master it. Second off, you need to limit bucket access. Traditionally, in a corporate setting, if you say that everyone can see the data, it means just everyone within your company. However, in AWS, if you select everyone, it means that every single person who is in AWS now has access to your data. So you need to make sure that you limit it and only allow those who should be seeing it to see it. Finally, as in every case, it's important to encrypt the data to ensure that the data is stored securely and accessed securely.
Awesome. So another really important thing that you can do to protect your AWS bucket is make sure you monitor what's going on with it. And you can do that through a few simple steps that we have listed here. First being that you log what's going on with the bucket, be it who's accessing and what they're doing, what they're putting on. Another important step, make sure you track the applications accessing your bucket. If a new application accesses that you don't know, you're able to block it and keep it from coming back. And of course, if none of these steps really make sense to you that we've shared, you can always get this amazing product called McAfee Sky High. It's amazing at just helping you know who's there, what vulnerabilities you have, and it really takes care of most of the process for you.
Perfect. Thanks for tuning in this week. We had a really good time. Hope you tune in to future videos. Watch for our #protectthebucket, and you can learn more about how to configure AWS buckets. But after learning so much, we just wanted to give you guys a quick caution with this last video that we have. This is what happens when you actually perform a Ghostwriter attack and monitor them correctly.
Please stop. Go on the ground. Go on the ground. Go on the ground.